Creative continuity at Motor City Comic Con. Get the latest news directly from cosplayers, artists, writers, and the occasional celebrity. Tune in for Creative Continuity's coverage of Motor City Comic Con. We bring the convention to you.
We're here talking with artist Pere Pérez. How you doing, Mr. Perez?
Very good.
How'd you get into this book art?
I had friends who were working for American comics, like Ramon Bax here, and other guys, Francis Portela and Juan Santa Cruz, who were, when I was starting, they were actually publishing here in Marvel and DC. So I found it like the way to arrive here. So I started practicing, listening to what they had to say about my artwork, and keep getting better.
What was your first project that you had in America?
I think it was for Moonstone, a book called Templars or something. And my first assignment for one of the big ones was for DC, the Guardian special with James Robinson.
But you did a lot of Batgirl stuff for Brian Q. Miller.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about your how'd you get on that book?
I kind of got in there because Lee Garbett was having trouble keeping with the pace.
Yeah.
And I had to fill in some of his pages. And then I started really liking the series, and every time I got more involved in that. So when Lee had to leave, and then Dustin Nguyen had to leave too, they considered me for the job. And I think Brian Q. Miller and I have a kind of a good chemistry. We understand each other, we like what we do. So it was my favorite job so far.
How did you guys bounce ideas off each other a lot, or
sometimes it's most like I get the script, and when I see something I can do in a different way. We talk, but mostly I respect what he writes, and he usually likes what I draw. So it's a good relationship.
How did you feel working with an editor, then a writer? How do you feel with that dynamic?
Usually good. It depends on the editor and it depends on the writer, because well, every person is different. But I haven't had any trouble so far.
What kind of work have you been doing right now since then?
Since Batgirl, I did Smallville season 11 with Brian Q. Miller too. And I've been working now in Archer and Armstrong for Valiant with Fred Van Lente writing.
How do you like working on Smallville season 11?
It was good because it was with Brian, but it was a tough job because I'm not good with likenesses, and I had to resemble the actors from the show. Yeah. So they were tough pages for me. But I think the final result, I'm very happy with that, and the script was brilliant.
Are you going to plan on doing any more work with him in the future?
Yeah, we are actually preparing something. I cannot tell you about it, but let's hope soon you hear from him, from Brian.
Is it DC related, or?
I can't talk anymore.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. This is Tommy Zimmer at Motor City.
Questions for me that I didn't address that I can help you guys out with, or
You say that usually sometimes that you have differences with an artist who may have done so much work and then they leave and go on. Do you normally go and fill in that hole and continue on after that artist leaves, or do you just go back to square one and start over?
It's a tough call, which is I primarily, to this point in my career, have mainly done short stories for that reason. If someone flakes out an 8-page story, and get someone else to draw it, you know. I haven't been in the situation yet where I have friends that have, and other professionals, and maybe it's a 3-issue miniseries. Halfway through issue 2, the artist can't keep doing it, or disappears, or whatever. And you got to do you got to make the decision of what you think is right for the integrity of the property, the integrity of yourself, and the integrity of the readers. Sometimes you can find someone else to come in and pick it up. Maybe you have to scrap all of issue 2 and then go from there. I mean, it's really a personal decision on what you think would work best. There's no one answer. But that's also primarily why so much of my career I've done short stories. I've worked with some artists, 13, 14 times. on 8-page installments. It doesn't work out, who's doing, you know, cool, I can give it to someone else. But you really have to decide what you think is best for the property. Ideally, a writer-artist relationship, and it goes for inkers, colors, letters, it's a marriage. It's a little poly marriage, you know, so be it. But polygamist, that's the word I'm looking for. I've been on the road 4 weeks straight, bear with me. But if the marriage doesn't work out, you have to decide, you know, how you're going to split up the kids.
Have you ever changed your story based upon what an artist has drawn partway through, where you looked at something and said, I didn't think about that, I need to change this? Because they came with an idea about how you initially had it, and they drew it slightly different than what you thought.
Dialogue I have, especially dialogue. It's funny, and I'm only trying to mildly be a shill. There's a part in the book where I show Josh Ross is an artist I worked with quite a bit, and what I show in the book was I wrote this page of Tales of Mystery to be 5 panels. Okay, boom, 5 panels. And I know Josh, I know him very, very well. We've worked together a long time. Well, he turned in, and I show it in the book. You probably can see it back there, but I had the script for the 5 panels. He turned in a page, it's 8 panels. He's crazy. He's like that Jose Von Rip, Jeff Darrow kind of style of art. There's like, you know, putting stuff everywhere. But I know Josh, and he said, you know, I added a couple panels in here because I think it paces out a little bit better, and it achieves more what you want to do. I have a good enough relationship with Josh, fine. So what I then went back through is I redid all the dialogue to break it up better for 8 panels, so that I show how I revised the dialogue and put it in there and did it that way. Ever changed? I don't know if I've ever, because the stories are so short, I don't know if I've ever changed it a lot, but artists definitely have added a lot to the process and made me reconsider things or do different little things. Usually it's like, oh, I didn't think about doing the scene that way. Like I'll be like, oh, we'll do like, you know, worm's eye view or whatever, and they do something like an overhead shot. I'm like, that's great. But mainly for me, it's just changing the dialogue and the pacing of the story, because how many panels there are and things like that, and the shots dictate the pace a lot. Tonight I'm gonna wake up like 3 in the morning and like, there was that one time, and I will curse your name and go back to sleep. But it's happened to an extent, at least, definitely to an extent, because again, it's a partnership. I've also had artists say, what if we did something like this? And sometimes I'm like, that's great. Sometimes I'm like, well, here's why. I will say a ship needs a captain. And as a writer, by and large, and this sounds, you know, I talk a lot about cooperation and collaboration, but at the end of the day, I'm the captain. I will listen to what you guys have to say, and 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, I'll go with it because it's marriage and it's compromise. But if it's in a direction that's completely opposite of what I want to do, I actually, there was a script sample I gave someone, an artist, and I ended up not working with the artist because of the changes made, and we couldn't come to a happy place between the two of us. Friend of mine, good person, but he wanted to do it this way, and I couldn't justify it, and we couldn't meet in the middle on it. He didn't want to do it enough. Or he was dead set his way and cool, you know, and I went in a different direction with it. Still friends with the guy, still work with the guy on other stuff. But usually I do try to accommodate the best I can, because usually artists know what they're doing visually. And again, if you enjoyed the panel, basically what I covered with you guys today is one chapter out of this. It's 216 pages, and it's just all kinds of stuff. Later on is online, again, is an online column with new installments at bleedingcool.com. I think the new one's up today. It's going to be every other Sunday. I think the new one's up today. It's going to be every other Sunday. Except for next Sunday, because I'm going to take a nap. And then so I'm going to take 3 weeks, then I'm going back to 2.
Do you know about Bestow Productions? We're the area's leader in video production. We provide quality, award-winning, and professional work in television commercial advertising, video for the web, video content for direct distribution, video on demand, and so much more. Give us a call at 570-486-4948 and see what Bestow can do for you. And now you know.